What's your relationship with money? Whether you love it or hate it, money makes a big difference in how you're able to show up in the world. But if you're basing your relationship on a misquoted passage from the Bible, you may be preventing yourself from living a life of abundance. So today, we're going to take a look at the truth about money. Welcome everyone. I'm Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, and here to help us understand money is Jesus and Saint Germain. Now, Jesus' name means Yahweh is salvation. Yahweh is God. God is salvation. And Christ, the Anointed One. So Jesus Christ is the Anointed One to show us or to teach us that God is salvation. Throughout Jesus' ministry, he had one goal, but that goal was to teach about what was possible when you were in alignment with God. Now, we got to remember that Jesus did not come to be a religious figure. The religion of Christianity did not exist while Jesus had a ministry. His main purpose was to show everyone what was possible. What could you expect if you allowed yourself to be in alignment with God? And Jesus says to us, whosoever believes in me will do the same works I have done, and even greater works, because I am going to be with the Father. In other words, I'm not going to be here anymore. This is the only time that I am going to spend in a physical body. I'm going to teach you how to do exactly what I have done so that you can continue to be abundant and to create this wonderful well-being here on the earth. Jesus taught that what you believe determines what you receive. And he demonstrated throughout his life that if you believed it was possible, you could indeed make it so. Now, Jesus has given me 4 different instances in which he was able to teach and show abundance. The first one was when the disciples came to Jesus. They happened to be on the boat and they were extremely worried because Rome was demanding taxes and they had not been collecting any money. They hadn't even been doing their regular jobs. They had been soaking up the words and the wisdom of Jesus and helping to teach this wisdom to other people. So they didn't really have any money to pay these taxes. So they came all in an uproar to Jesus. But since they were on a boat, Jesus reached his hand into the water, pulled up a fish, and there in the mouth of the fish was a gold coin, enough to pay the taxes. Now, again, Jesus is a practical teacher. He didn't say, run away, hide, don't pay your taxes. Jesus always told us, you must do whatever is required of you to be in a physical body in this life journey. But you do not get completely consumed by that. Instead, you stay in alignment and know that your power comes from that aligned space. The next incident that he reminded me of was when he was at the wedding at Canaan and the wine ran out. Now, wine, of course, is a drink that was much celebrated, and there was the water. You couldn't always trust the water at that time, so wine made it safer to drink. and it was also considered a luxury. So, when the wine ran out, it was as if the party, the celebration, was not going to be nearly as magnificent. So what did Jesus do? He lined up jugs of water, he said a prayer, and he blessed them. He made sure that he was in alignment, and then he took the power that was now running through him and used that to transform this water into something that was desired, demonstrating that we are to expect to receive the desires of our heart. The coin in the fish's mouth, we are to expect to have our needs met. We are expected to have our desires met. And then there's another incident. This is Lazarus. Lazarus has died. Jesus is poking around in another town. He allows that man not just to get sick, but to actually be buried. He's been wrapped in grave clothes. Jesus comes, calls Lazarus forth, calls Lazarus back to life to demonstrate that there is no death, that the physical body may no longer be valuable, but the spirit will not die, so that you can expect to receive healing. And finally, Jesus shares the loaves and the fishes. Now, he has gotten a great big crowd gathered around him. I believe he was on a hilltop at this time. And they have been there for hours, and they are just enthralled with Jesus' teachings. He is explaining to them that they don't need to live in a state of fear. They can expect to live in a state of love, joy, and peace and have all their needs met. But gosh, he's been talking for a long time, and the people are hungry. And it appears that there isn't any food. However, one boy had brought lunch, loaves, and fish. Jesus again takes this very meager offering, says a prayer, and blesses the food. And not surprisingly, everyone was able to eat their fill, and there was food left over. God is a God of more than enough. But you must believe this to be true if it is going to be possible in your own life. This is where often I see that people are getting confused. You have stepped off away into the belief that has been popularized but may be distorted, and you're allowing that to be your divining rod. What I want to suggest for you today is that you create a personal relationship with God so that it is you who are receiving the answers and the guidance, and you are not relying on an interpreter who may or may not be getting the information correct. No matter how great their intention is, they may still, because of their own belief system, be unable to step into a place of abundance and then therefore not able to teach it. So let's take a look at that lie that is so prevalent that so many of us have been exposed to, and if you didn't do your own research, may be believing. And this lie is money is the root of all evil. However, that's not true. That is not even what was written. What was written, and I'm quoting now from 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, for which some have strayed from the path in their greediness. So what happened? People stopped working on staying in alignment with God and began chasing their alignment with money. So they stepped out of the place where there was more than enough and onto the place where there could never be enough. Now we also have Saint Germain here with us, so let's take a look at his perspective on money and how he demonstrated abundance throughout his life. Now Saint Germain was called the Wonder Man of Europe. He was immortal, and there are sightings of him as much as 200 years living on the earth, traveling the globe, interacting with nobility. But during the time that Saint Germain was active, there was a practice called alchemy, and it was the idea or the desire that you could take straw, which was a very common substance, and turn it into gold, that you could somehow get it to transform through an alchemical process, and it would become gold, which of course was rare and would instantly make them all very rich and powerful. But Saint Germain, who had a mystery school at the time, was not an advocate of trying to take a common substance and make it into one that is rare and valuable. Instead, he was an advocate of doing the inner work. He taught self-transformation, and he is quoted as saying, "Alchemy is the science of the mystic, and it is the forte of the self-realized man who, having sought, has found himself to be one with God and is willing to play his part." Both Jesus and Saint Germain remind us that we have a role to play. We must be in a receptive state before it is possible for us to receive abundance from God. If you find yourself in a desert wasteland, it's time to go within, to look within the heart and find out what kind of programs you're allowing to run that are causing you to be blocked from receiving the abundance that you desire. So let's now hear from both Jesus and Saint Germain so that we have a more accurate understanding of what money is and what it is not, so that you will be more comfortable with money and more open to receiving money or to using money as it is meant to be used. So they begin. Believing a lie doesn't make it true. Spouting it as if it's gospel won't make it true, but it does give it power. Intention is the most powerful force on earth, and when you combine a lie with intention, you've created deadly force, or force that can crush the spirit of everyone who hears and believes the lie. The phrase that has caused so much pain, confusion, and lack is a misquote from the Bible about money. Now you must understand that money is a tool to be used for the benefit of all. Money is no greater or lesser of a tool than any other tools of empowerment that we have shared with you. But money has been worshipped, demonized, and misunderstood, and it's from this place of confusion where all of the troubles begin. I said the love of money is the root of all evil. This means that when you worship the tool instead of the grace it will bring you, you've taken your eyes off of the prize, which is union with God, and put them onto a way, and is the way to reaching a goal. The consequence is disastrous, because your journey begins with the objective, of union with God, and then somewhere along the way, money has become the God. Yet money is not God. Money is not wise, all-knowing, all-loving, and all-accepting. Money is a currency, a tool of no independent wisdom or ability to act. This means you've taken your allegiance away from God, who is beneficent and actively working on your behalf, and you've placed it on an inanimate object that cannot act independently. You've turned away from true source and latched onto imaginary source, only to find yourselves being consumed. It matters not whether you see money as good or bad. It only matters that you either fear it and actively try to shun it, or you worship it and actively try to hoard it. No matter which you've chosen death, because there is no life within the tool of money. Of abundance there is plenty. Of wisdom, love, joy, and peace there is more than enough, but you will not find these treasures of incomparable value by looking without. The treasures that you seek provide you with everything you could ever desire. But you must set aside your fears of lack if you are to receive them. Go within, settle into the heart, and set your attention on alignment. From that place of grace, everything will be added unto you. It is so very important that you understand that the physical world is comprised of a lot of tools that can help you on your journey, and a lot of challenges that will further your understanding of God. But the things of the physical are not to be confused with who God is and the help that God is able to offer you. So please, it is so important that if you are at cross purposes with your life, if you are confused or you feel that you're not getting the answers that you need, it's time for you to go within, clear away the pain, the trauma, the confusion, and allow God to truly speak to your heart. Don't rely on an interpreter. Instead, get the message directly. Remember, Jesus told us, this and even greater things will you be able to do. Let's gather together from a place of the heart and allow ourselves to create a world that is absolutely magnificent. It's not too late. It's not too difficult. It's absolutely possible for each and every one of us to step into a world that feels good all the time. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have challenges, but it does mean that you're going to be able to react and overcome those challenges with ease and grace. So please, if you have been holding back or holding yourself in a place of scarcity or lack, open up, learn to receive. Abundance is your birthright. I want to thank you all so much for being here, for sharing, for subscribing, for liking these videos, and for commenting. And I want to invite you, if you have an idea or you have a question or a concern about spirituality that you need answered, please drop it into the comments, because I am delighted to answer your questions. And as always, if you're ready to further your journey, to go even deeper, then please join me on my website. That's marciamartinthehearthealer.com or mmhearthealer.com. On my website, you'll be able to join my community. Just click on the Community tab, and there you're going to have access to so many spiritual tools and meditations and support. For less than $8 a month, you will be immersed in the energetic realm, and you will have answers. But if you want to dive even deeper, then I invite you to sign up to work with me personally. But no matter what you choose, I am delighted that you are here, and I am so grateful that you're a part of my world, because together we can create a world that feels wonderful. So until next time, I'm sending you all my love and my deepest gratitude.